Hey guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to be doing this all drugstore silver New Year's Eve look. So this is a silver glittery smoky eye that I came up with, and it is all done with drugstore products. So starting off with the Garnier 5-second blur, I'm going to be smoothing that all over my face in the T-zone. This is a pore filling primer, which I really love. Taking my Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation and dabbing that in with my Quo makeup sponge. This is a great full coverage concealer from the drugstore. I really love it. The only thing is that it's a tad too yellow for me, as you'll see in the video. But once I put on all the rest of my makeup, it just, kind of blends in with the rest of my body and doesn't look as drastic as it will right now. So just dabbing away. This truly is a really great concealer. It's so full coverage, so great for these kind of events. And blending it down to my neck as well to kind of even out the separation. Taking my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 20 Sand, I'm applying that under my eyes to hide any dark circles as well as highlight, and taking it down the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, under my nostrils, the cupid's bow, as well as on the chin. This just kind of helps to balance out the highlighting. And again, just blending that in with my damp beauty sponge. And usually I take it onto my eyelids, but I'm going to be using a different primer today, so that's why I don't do that today. This is a really great sponge as well, guys, so if you need a sponge but don't have the money to spend on a beauty blender, I would recommend this Quo sponge. The Real Technique ones is also great. Grabbing my Airspun loose face powder. This is an incredible translucent powder, and I'm using that to bake my under eyes and set anywhere else that I used concealer. I'm just using my damp makeup sponge to apply the translucent powder. Using my Wet n Wild Photofocus eyeshadow primer, I'm going to be applying that onto my eyelids. This is such an incredible primer, guys. Like, it will stop creasing, it really grabs onto the eyeshadow. I just find it to be such an incredible primer for the price that you get. This is honestly one of my all-time favorite primers. Better than any of the high-end ones I have, honestly. And then I just go over with the beauty blender just to kind of pick up any excess product. Using my Morphe 35O palette, I'm going to be grabbing that light shade in the top corner and using that to actually set the primer. This gives me a nice smooth base so that I can easily blend out the eyeshadows. And I'm just using a fluffy shader brush for that. Taking that light brown shade, it's kind of a cooler toned, and that's what I'm going to be going for today. I'm using a Sigma E40 and using that to blend it into the inner and outer corner. And I'm just going to be slowly building this color up. So I kind of go in a few times to build up the color. Of course, doing that to both eyes and going kind of back and forth between the inner and outer corner and both eyes, and just blending, blending, blending. The key to looks like this, especially smoky eyes, is just to blend. I didn't realize how much time I spent on blending until I started filming it, because then it started to, I'd realize it was like 15 minutes, like just on blending. Taking that next darkest shade, I'm doing the exact same process and just deepening up the crease a little more. And same thing, we're just going to be slowly building up that color. And continuing to use the exact same brush for that. I'm just going back and forth between both sides. And I do wing it out a little bit just because I do like that elongated look, and I feel like that gives a nice dramatic look for New Year's. So I actually grabbed this smaller kind of pencil brush to pack on the shadow first, because I felt like it was taking a little too long, and then I blended out. Going into that next dark brown shade, I'm grabbing a more precise blending brush, and this guy actually packs it on pretty well. And I'm doing, again, the exact same process, but just kind of bringing it a little lower into the crease and a little tighter into the eyelid. That's what I do with every darker color I get. I go a little bit lower and a little bit tighter and more precise as I go, so that you get that nice gradual effect rather than it all kind of just mixing together and looking muddy. And again, just blend, blend, blend. I'm taking a bit of translucent powder to just sharpen up the line a little bit, and this really helps if you find that it's kind of going a little, you know, messy, just do that. Taking any black shadow, I just used the one that was closest to me, which was from my Kat Von D shade, which I know is not drugstore, but any black shadow will do. And using that same pencil brush from earlier, I'm packing that onto the inner and outer lid and then blending it out lightly, just because I want to maintain most of the color. And this is just mostly just to, you know, add that drama and smokiness to the eye. Grabbing my Nyx Lid Lingerie. This is the silver shade. I'm not exactly sure of the name, but I'll list it down below. I'm just applying that to my lids, just in the center where we're going to be applying the glitter as well as kind of just our base. This is honestly such an incredible product. I would recommend you guys go pick it up. It is so great. Then taking just a flat shader brush and just kind of using that to blend it out a little bit. And I'm just kind of patting and pulling at the shadow. Using my Nyx Glitter Primer, I'm going to be applying that with the Stargazer Sparkler by Geek. So I'm first applying the primer, just lightly onto the lid using any synthetic lid brush that you have. And then I go in with the glitter afterward, and I'm not packing it on, I just want like a light coat of the glitter because I do still want the silver to show through. And this is just like a white iridescent glitter. Then taking this powder brush, is actually a paint brush, but it's my favorite brush to dust away any loose powder, and I'm just doing exactly that, just dusting away all the baking that I had been doing. And I'm doing my brows off camera. Grabbing that light brown shade onto a pencil brush, I'm going to go ahead and do my lower lash line, and concentrating most of the color onto the inner and outer corner. And we're also connecting it to that, like, out to the eyeshadow that kind of winged out a bit. Then we're grabbing that darker shade onto a smaller pencil brush. I'm doing that exact same thing as before and applying it under the lash line, but this is closer to the lash line, and I'm again concentrating it mostly on the inner and outer corner, as we're going to be applying the silver and glitter into the center to kind of give that pow effect. And as you can see, I'm grabbing a small concealer brush and picking up the silver product and just lightly applying that onto my lash line. I'm using that exact same brush to apply the glitter. I'm just lightly patting it on, trying to make sure I don't get any on into my eyeballs. And then grabbing that light shade in the center, I'm going to be highlighting my inner corners there. And grabbing my Nyx Contour Kit, I'm grabbing those two shades there onto a Morphe angled brush and using that to bronze up the face mostly, and then I'll be going in with a more precise brush to actually carve out my cheekbones and contour. I know it looks kind of messy right now, but I go in with a different brush later that I actually didn't show on camera and just kind of blend it out, because I found that this brush kind of packed the product on a little too much, so I went back in later to blend it all out. But I do really love this NYX palette. Grabbing those two shades there onto that small little brush, that's the one I use to kind of carve out my cheekbones and really contour my cheeks as well as my forehead. Then I take a bit more of translucent powder using my stamped sponge, and I just carve out right underneath the contour just to sharpen up the line. Grabbing this blush from the NYX Blush Palette. Again, I'm just taking that, I'm applying it to my cheeks lightly. I'm not big on blush, so I just kind of do a light layer. And again, that's on a paintbrush that I just happen to have. I really like these brushes, actually they're my favorites. And just dusting off that contour, I don't let it sit for as long as I do the baking. Using my e.l.f. cream eyeliner, I'm just taking that on this brush here, and again, another paintbrush. This is actually my favorite eyeliner brush. It gives like a really sharp wing. I'm not doing a wing today, just like a straight line across to kind of help hide the eyelashes. So yeah, I'm just making sure that I'm covering up all the glitter. And using this mascara here, you guys know probably which one it is, it's super popular. And just applying a light coat to my top lashes and going into my bottom lashes as well. I really like this mascara for my bottom lashes. I feel like it really just kind of elongates them and helps them look present. Using my Covergirl lipstick in 235 Champagne. This is just a nice pinky nude. And I'm applying that without lip liner just because I feel like it's such a light color that it doesn't really, you know, make that much of a difference if I do line my lips or not. But this is one of my absolute favorite nude lipsticks that I own. I would recommend it. And this is the one I actually wore for my grad. And this is me realizing that I forgot to highlight and grabbing this eyeshadow here from the e.l.f. Prism eyeshadow palette. With Drugstore, I haven't yet found an incredible blinding highlight, so I tend to use eyeshadows instead, and as you can see, it does the trick for me. So if you guys have that issue, I would recommend trying out an eyeshadow that you might have. Most Drugstore eyeshadow palettes have like a nice champagne color, so just give that a try. And using my Hard Candy Hydrating Primer Mist, I'm using that to just set my face. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.